Okay, hello everyone. My name is Johanna Mahoney, and I'm a financial aid counselor here at California State University, Monterey Bay. My advisor is Dr. Sue. Let me tell you a little bit about what the Satisfactory Academic Progress Workshop is, short for SAP. It is a federal policy that mandates CSUOB's progress every semester. My job as a financial aid counselor is to make sure that students pass their classes successfully in order to continue to receive financial aid. At the end of every semester, the financial aid office runs a report to let us know of the students who don't pass their classes. At that point, financial aid counselors are able to go on campus and provide a face-to-face workshop with these students. Here's the problem with the face-to-face workshop. There is no interaction between the counselor and the student. Usually the students ask questions at the very end, and by that time they don't even remember their actual question. Also with the counselor and the student, the counselor doesn't really entertain the student as far as providing any sorts of activity during the face-to-face workshop. Also, there's a lack of motivation within the student. This is not an actual course where the student will get a grade for and they will see it on their transcript, so therefore they're not really motivated to take this workshop. However, it is a federal policy, so they have to take it in order to receive financial aid. There's also a limited space on campus. Because the financial aid counselors are not real instructors, we don't have really a choice of which classrooms we can choose from. So when the students come in, there's typically about 30 to 60 students, especially during the first week of school. So within those 60 students, the classrooms are very, very packed. And the students are, they're sweating, they're getting irritated, they're complaining, and at that time they don't really focus on what the actual counselor is saying. Also at the very end, when the student takes the quiz, there's really no way to measure their assessment. They do take the quiz, they pass it, but we don't know what the actual problem is as to why they keep coming back. So the way to solve the problem is to eliminate the face-to-face workshop and actually replace it with an online workshop. The online workshop is through CSUOB iLearn. It includes 5 chapters, quizzes, narration, and interaction. And by the way, I use Captivate for this. The reason why it's important is because, of course, we want to prevent students from being placed on warning and probation. It also provides financial assistance for the students because they can get their financial aid on time, and they don't have to wait until we set the schedule, and then they got to make arrangements to go around their classes to meet the SAP requirement. It also saves time and preparation. During the winter, during the summer, a lot of the students would go home on break, and they would travel 5 hours on campus to do a workshop face-to-face that's only 30 to 40 minutes, And it also saves time for the counselor. The counselor spends about 3 hours a day. Lunch, the face-to-face presentation, and also going back to the office to make sure that each student signed in at that worksheet. So if we eliminate the face-to-face and actually have the workshop online, the counselor only spent an hour on lunch, and in those 2 hours they can be in the office assisting other students. So this is how the actual workshop works. The student would type in CSUOB.edu, which is the homepage. They'll scroll down to the iLearn. They'll be brought to the iLearn official account. This is where they will add their Otter ID and password to get access. Once they're on the iLearn account, they'll have a list of all their courses that they're enrolled in, and they will select the one that says Satisfactory Academic Progress. When they click on that link, it'll take them to the SAP policy so they can see what the policy is about. I also decided to provide additional information on there, especially for students who take online courses like the MISS program and they can't meet on campus, but they have the information online available. When the student is ready to take the SAP workshop, they'll click on the link and they will be introduced with the actual audio workshop. So there'll be a narration saying, "Welcome, this is the Financial Aid Satisfactory Academic Progress Workshop. Click the button to begin." When the student begins right away, they'll be introduced, they'll be asked the question, well, what is SAP? And then the information is provided there for them so that they can understand what it is to be on Satisfactory Academic Progress. So what's inside the workshop? Well, as I mentioned before, there's 5 chapters, and within each chapters are things that they should know, like what semesters count, warning versus probation, and how to appeal their financial aid. I also provided interaction, which is something that they didn't have before, with this little drag and drop activity. I also provided color and in a bin so that they can identify the difference between being on between grants and student loans. After each section of the workshop, the student would then be asked a question from the quiz. If the student select the wrong answer, a red button would come up and it would let them know that the answer is incorrect, and then they can try again. The theory that I used was Gagne 9 minutes. Out of the 9, I technically used 7. I won't go through all of them, but I definitely provided, gain attention by the interaction, by the color, and also presented the information that they didn't have before. At the end of the day, creating module, interaction online, it definitely improved their test scores. It gave SAP a new look and a new feel, which is something that this school for financial aid didn't have before. As a result, when I test 12 users, 11 said yes. As you can see, no one said no when asked, was the objective for each topic where they identified the following. The second result was the quality of instruction. Was it good and clear? As you see, 11 said yes. Again, no one said no. Before, students would complain that it wasn't clear, it was boring, they don't understand why they're here, you just didn't understand. So with these results, it definitely revealed that the SAP workshop worked beautifully online, and it did inform the students. It also encouraged the students and provided participation for them, because they didn't have to wait until the schedule. They were able to do the workshop whenever they wanted to and get it done and have their financial aid paid out on time. It also allowed the counselors to keep track of who passed and who failed. By the SAP workshop being online through iLearn, we're able to identify if there is a problem. For example, if there's those 12 users and they answered a specific question like number 5 and they all answered it incorrectly, with that report, it allows us to see that maybe we're not asking the question correctly. Maybe it's not student, maybe it's us. So with that type of feedback, it allows us to make different types of changes. Questions? Yes?
Who are your 12 subjects?
Some of them were CSUD students and I think 2 faculty members who actually work in the financial aid office, who knows the actual workshop. Any other questions? Yes.
This idea of not having to do financial aid stuff in person, is that going to catch on in financial aid? Back on Thursday?
Well, it's like the staff are very stubborn, so it's tooth and nail, but it is in the process. We had SAP this week. Of course, I didn't launch this, but yeah, we had a lot of unhappy students, and we had 60 students, and as a matter of fact, and they were very angry. Because again, the classrooms were just too small, and they were all literally sweating in there, and they were upset. So, yes.
When do you plan on implementing this at CSUD?
As soon as I get the approval from the boss, but it's coming. I would really like to see this happen. Definitely eliminate just time, just pretty much at this time. Any other questions?
Great.
Yes.
I was just curious if it's a novel idea or if another campus is something that...
Well, the thing is on my research, other campuses are doing this, but they're doing it in another way. They don't actually have a module or a presentation online. They have it set where I think, I can't remember, but they don't have it like this. We could be new at this, we'll put us on the map.
Great, thank you.